Ella Fitzgerald was overweight for the majority of her life. She had begun suffering from problems with her eyesight stemming from a cataract in her right eye and an eye hemorrhage in her left eye in the mid-1960s. By the 1970s, Ella Fitzgerald began encountering multiple health problems. This included but was not limited to exhaustion along with heart and respiratory difficulties. In 1971, Fitzgerald had surgery performed in Boston, Massachusetts, on her eyes to treat the hemorrhage and cataracts. Fitzgerald had to cancel a tour in Europe before undergoing the surgery. Despite her health issues, Fitzgerald continued to perform and remain active in singing. At around 10 p.m. on the night of August 11, 1985, Ella Fitzgerald was hospitalized at George Washington University Medical Center in Washington, D.C. after complaints of shortness of breath. It was discovered that Fitzgerald had fluid built up in her lungs, though it was determined to not be pneumonia by doctors. She was discharged from the hospital in good condition, about a week later, on August 19, 1985. On the morning of July 27, 1986, Fitzgerald was rushed and admitted to Niagara Falls Medical Center after reportedly suffering the effects of congestive heart failure in her hotel room at Niagara Hilton Hotel. Fitzgerald had been staying in Niagara Falls following a performance in Lewiston, New York. Fitzgerald made a successful recovery and was released on July 31, 1986. Ella Fitzgerald was admitted to Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, California, on August 19, 1986, after her condition began to worsen. She underwent open-heart quintuple coronary bypass surgery later on September 3, 1986. She reportedly had one of her heart valves replaced during the surgery. After the surgery, Fitzgerald received mail from fans and a bouquet of flowers from Ronald and Nancy Reagan, the U.S. President and First Lady at the time. Fitzgerald made a successful recovery and was released from the hospital on September 17, 1986. Fitzgerald was required to recuperate for 9 months after the surgery. The same year, Fitzgerald was reportedly diagnosed with diabetes. Fitzgerald was hospitalized at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center again on September 16, 1987, for a painful swollen right foot caused by her diabetes. She was initially scheduled to have surgery take place on the same afternoon that she was admitted, but it was aborted by her doctor, who decided that further tests should be performed on her. Fitzgerald underwent surgery to remove bone particles from her swollen foot a week later on September 23. In 1991, Fitzgerald would make her 26th and final performance at Carnegie Hall in Manhattan, New York. She would continue to make occasional public performances until around 1993, when she became bedridden after having both of her legs amputated below the knees due to complications from diabetes that subsequently led to gangrene. This wasn't revealed to the public until about a year later in April 1994. On June 15, 1996, Ella Fitzgerald died at the age of 79 after suffering a stroke at her home in Beverly Hills, California. She died early in the morning at around 2:30 a.m., surrounded by family and friends, according to her son Roy Brown Jr. After her death, multiple celebrities made public statements and reactions, including Mel Torme, Dick Hyman, Frank Sinatra, Phyllis McGuire, and Tommy Flanagan. U.S. President at the time, Bill Clinton, made a statement about Ella Fitzgerald after her death, saying, "I am deeply saddened by the death of Ella Fitzgerald. The jazz world and the nation have suffered a tremendous loss in the passing of someone with so much talent, grace, and class." Ella Fitzgerald had a private funeral held for her on the afternoon of June 20, 1996, in Beverly Hills. Fitzgerald's family had requested that memorial donations made for Fitzgerald be sent to the Society of Singers. Ella Fitzgerald's body was interred in Sunset Mission Mausoleum on the second floor of the Sanctuary of the Bells in Inglewood Park Cemetery, located in Inglewood, California.